Hello, and this is looking at Ogden Brook, where it follows a channel down from the dam of Holdenwood Reservoir, and we're filming from the bridge that carries the B something or other between Helmshire and Haslingden. I'll perhaps add it as in the text when I get back home. Really should do my research better, shouldn't I, Simon?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll now cross the road and follow the river. It's still Ogden Brook at this point. Follow it down by means of a convenient adjacent footpath. Hello, there's some modern housing on your left immediately after the road, but then the walk alongside the brook becomes extremely attractive and picturesque. It's another footpath coming in from the right over that bridge.
Hello subscribers and people who are subscribed to our Patreon, hopefully, don't forget it exists. Right, anyway, here we are at a merging point where the Ogden Brook and Swimmen Brook sort of like meet, and where the Ogden comes out victorious, having swallowed Swimmen Brook whole, and through swallowing it has now become the River Ogden.
Officially, yep. The Ogden is now officially a river.
Congratulations, Ogden, you've done it.
To continue the walk alongside the River Ogden, you have to cross this bridge just before the merger and then head off to the left. There's also an alternative crossing. There's a ford there, popular with the local kids, as you can perhaps see. Hello, we're now looking down at the river from a bridge on what was the old Stubbins Junction to Accrington railway line, a large part of which is now a cycle path, though not the whole route, but certainly round here it is. Let's just go over to see the view on the other side. As you can see, the river looks still a bit channeled here. I think it was tamed for use by the industrial premises on this part, one of which is now a popular museum, which we'll see shortly. Hello, we're now at the back of Higher Mill Textile Museum, and here you can see where the company diverted a large part of the River Ogden to feed this like little water channel for their own purposes. I don't know, they've got a lifeboat there just in case somebody falls in, but the main river is actually the other side of those trees. They didn't take all of it, and it actually flows right underneath the mill. I think we'll be able to get a good shot of that. Right, this is not the best view of the point where the river escapes from underneath the Mill Museum, because there's a lot of foliage in the way at the moment, but there's a road into the car park, and the river emerges from just underneath the bridge to get to the car park. None the worse for the mill's interference, and for the next half mile or so it actually hugs the road pretty closely, so got a bit of a road walk now. And here's a bit of machinery that's been placed outside on display. I won't pretend I know what it did, what it actually is, but if you know, please use the comments below. Thank you. Helmshire has grown quite a lot in recent years. There's a lot of new housing, as you can see across the river here, which has necessitated a new bridge over the river to get to that estate, but it's not too unpleasant. And you can see there's another brook coming in. I think this is possibly Musbury Brook coming in to feed the Irwell. So yeah, quite a nice spot. Just a bit further on, there looks like there was once some sort of dam and crossing point across here. There's the remains of a structure on the right hand side, but I'm not sure exactly what it was. The river's quite deep here. Simon spotted 1 or 2 fish and quite a build up of silt on the opposite bank here. Interesting. This is Snighole Park in Helmshire. It's quiet and attractive, and at the western edge of it you've got the river. I think this is some sort of war memorial that we're passing here. Yeah, with a clock tower which is actually telling the correct time.
It's currently 6:45.
3, yes. Well done, Simon, eventually.
Oh, shut up. I can have a slip of the time.
You can. It's a little bit of, well, I don't know whether this... I suppose you'd call this a weir, but it might also be looked upon as stepping stones if you're brave, though it doesn't really seem to go to anywhere on the opposite bank. You'd have a bit of a scramble at the other end. But this is a nice spot. I imagine there is some paddling here at the height of summer. Nice shallow spot.
Simon approved.
Oh, 1 or 2 nice sculptures here. Hello, Mr. Badger, I think you are. And if you're not interested in wooden animals, there's some alpacas in the field just beyond the park. So very nice spot this. As you can see here, there's a choice of footpaths to Irwell Vale. We don't go across the bridge, we take the one that hugs the river, at least for the start of its journey, on the left. And this is very pleasant indeed. Some lovely old I would guess 17th century cottages here, and very attractive stretch of the river. And not far beyond the cottages you have this very attractive feature where the river pours over 2 natural rock sills, so like these are natural weirs in the flow of the river, and this is a very nice spot indeed.
It's a bit eerie coming along this stretch due to it seemingly crumbling away here. I mean, got a portion of that ground there just sort of resting on these trees here. A bit scary, but
yeah, they might
just holding on.
Yeah, it's okay at the moment, but they might have to come here and do some remedial work at some point. But this really is lovely. Path is sort of pleasantly rocky at this point, and very well established for reasons which I'll go into a bit further up. Right, well, we're approaching the scenic highlight of the River Ogden, and first of all you've got a man-made weir, because as we'll see a bit further down, the river is still to be used industrially one last time. So you've got some sluice gates over there, now disused but still in place, and a bit of a structure there to support them, and You can actually see that the river does get quite deep immediately after the weir. You could perhaps have a very brief swim there. I'm sure people do paddle, but mostly they would come just a bit further on. So we'll leave the camera rolling. This structure before us is the Ravenshaw Viaduct, carrying the Accrington to Bury line across the River Ogden, and this whole area was once known as Little Blackpool because people used to come from the mill towns to Helmshire station and walk the same way we've done, down the same path to this area, which was a bit more open. It didn't have quite as many bushes and trees around here, and I'm told there were once stalls here. There was a real fun fair atmosphere at one point. So here we are, Ravenshaw Viaduct, which you can walk across. There is a path along the railway at this point, and below it, Little Blackpool.
Oh, and a massive thank you to Sean from the Helmshire Textile Museum textile, for informing us on the history of the location.
Yeah, well done, Simon. So we've now come under the viaduct through the far archway. You can just see there. And if we sweep around, you can see that the path now runs alongside a high wall above the river, which has a very rocky bed. You could almost probably, if you were careful with your footing, cross from one side to the other without wading here. There's so many large rocks, although maybe that point might be a bit difficult.
Oh, do you want me to test that?
No, Simon, I want you to stay alive and healthy. And don't quite know what was here actually. You've got a concrete base,
Wall,
like the base of an engine or something, or perhaps a chimney, and then a big block of concrete. So that wouldn't be Victorian, so I'm not sure what that's there for, other than perhaps to hold the bank stable. So, interesting bit of archaeology here. At this point, you have to say goodbye to the river, which is now flowing nicely, because the works at Irwell Vale took control of the river, and so the path swings away from it outside of the industrial premises. There's an old stone gate post here, and a bit of a stride across a slight clough, because it's quite a steep drop down to the river at this point, so just need to watch your footing. And on into the fields. You can see as well from here that the banks get pretty eroded there, so there's no viable footpath along the bank on that side anyway. Irwell Vale is a lovely little post-industrial hamlet, and this is on the other side of the road. You have the final stretch of the River Ogden. That's the last bridge over it, and it continues up to meet its end at the River Irwell.
Hello, so here we are at the final couple feet of the Ogden. Just runs up that way and then sort of merges with the Irwell underneath this bridge. Then if you go across the bridge over to here, you can now see that they're both the same river. this has been All the Rivers Ogden, signing off.